They said he was finished. They said he was too old. At 40 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo was written off. Critics claimed he had no place in Portugal's squad anymore. ESPN called him a passenger, a burden, a man desperately clinging to past glory. But then came the games, and in just 2 matches, Ronaldo didn't just silence the critics, he exposed them. He reminded the world why his name will echo through football history for generations to come. This is the story of how a 40-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo reignited the Ballon d'Or debate and proved the world wrong. Let's rewind. The narrative ESPN pushed was clear. The Nations League wasn't supposed to be about Ronaldo at all. It was about Yamal, about Dembele. If Yamal lifted the trophy, the Ballon d'Or should be his. If Dembele won, then he deserved it. That was the script. A new golden boy must rise. The old guard must fade away. But football doesn't follow scripts. And if you're ready to hear the full story of how Cristiano Ronaldo defied time, silenced the critics, and rewrote history once again, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video so you never miss more stories like this. And so, before a ball was even kicked, Ronaldo, 5-time Ballon d'Or winner, the greatest goalscorer in football history, was erased from the story. But football has a way of punishing arrogance. In the semi-final, Portugal met Germany. History was against them. Germany hadn't lost to Portugal in 25 years. Let that sink in. An entire generation of Portuguese footballers came and went without ever tasting victory against the Germans. And now the burden fell on one man. A man critics insisted no longer belonged on the pitch. At 40 years old, they said he couldn't press. They said he couldn't run. They said his very presence was holding Portugal back. Start Ramos, they argued. Younger legs, fresher energy, the future. But when the lights came on, it wasn't Ramos who made history. It was Cristiano Ronaldo. The match was tense, like a chessboard where every move carried weight. Portugal surged forward. Germany answered back. Minutes slipped away. The game became a battle of nerves, of patience. And Ronaldo was waiting. Always waiting. Then the moment came. A cross. A run. The kind of anticipation you don't learn, you earn. Through decades at the very top. One touch. One finish. Simple. Ruthless. Vintage Ronaldo. At 40 years old, against history itself, Cristiano Ronaldo scored. And for the first time in a quarter century, Portugal defeated Germany. One man broke the curse. One man rewrote the story. But instead of celebrating the moment, ESPN brushed it aside. A fluke, they called it. A meaningless goal. A striker who didn't contribute enough. But how do you dismiss history unfolding in front of your eyes? That's when it became clear. This wasn't just criticism. This was an agenda. And so came the final. The stage was set. The clash of generations. On one side, 17-year-old Lamine Yamal, the face of tomorrow. On the other, Cristiano Ronaldo, the man from yesterday. The media framed it as the passing of the torch. The end of an era. The script was written. But football isn't Hollywood. Football doesn't follow your script. Football belongs to those who seize the moment. The stadium pulsed with electricity. Spanish fans chanting Yamal's name. Portuguese fans clinging to belief in their captain. One last time. The cameras locked on Ronaldo during the anthem. His eyes were cold. His jaw set. For Cristiano Ronaldo, this was never about silencing doubters. This was about legacy. But Spain struck first. In the 21st minute, Zubimendi found the net. The new wave was rising. 5 minutes later, Nuno Mendes answered back, igniting Portuguese hope, only for Oyarzabal to restore Spain's lead. Suddenly, Spain were in control. They dictated possession. They suffocated Portugal. And as the minutes ticked away, the whispers began. Ronaldo's done. His time is over. But then came the 61st minute. A flash of movement inside the box. A defender caught ball watching. Ronaldo, not for a second. The cross whipped in, and before anyone could even blink, the ball was buried in the net. Goal. Portugal level again. The celebration told the story. He didn't sprint to the corner flag like the 20-year-old Ronaldo once did. Instead, he stood tall. Arms stretched wide, silent, commanding, soaking it all in. It wasn't just a goal. It was a statement, a message to Spain, to the crowd, and to every pundit who had already written his obituary. At 40 years old, Cristiano Ronaldo had dragged Portugal back into the fight. Momentum had shifted. Momentum had shifted. Spain crumbled. Portugal grew stronger. And when the final whistle blew, The trophy was theirs. Cristiano Ronaldo had done it again. This wasn't just a goal. This wasn't just a victory. This was a message. The match had been framed as a clash of generations. The teenager was supposed to write the headline. Instead, the veteran stole it. But even after the triumph, the knives came out again. He's too old. He only played 2 games. He got injured. That was the reaction. No praise for playing back-to-back 90-minute battles in 3 days. No admiration for delivering on the biggest stage at an age when most footballers are long retired. Just more disrespect. And that's when you realize this isn't analysis. This is an agenda. They want Ronaldo gone. They want his chapter closed, but Ronaldo refuses to let them. To understand why, you have to look back at the moments that defined him. In 2017, the Champions League belonged to him. 10 knockout stage goals, a hat trick against Atletico, 5 across 2 legs against one of Bayern's greatest sides, a brace in the final versus Juventus. That year, he didn't just play football, he bent it to his will. He made the impossible look inevitable. In 2016, he achieved what no player has ever done before or since. He won the Champions League. He won the European Championship, Portugal's first ever. He won the Ballon d'Or. And across all competitions, he surpassed 60 goal contributions. The only man in history to hold all of that in a single season. That wasn't just talent. That was destiny. In 2014, he fulfilled the promise of La Decima. Before a ball was even kicked, he told Real Madrid fans he would deliver their 10th Champions League title. Against Barcelona, against Bayern, against Chelsea. At the time, it sounded like madness, but madness became reality. 17 goals, a record that still stands. And when Zlatan challenged him in the World Cup playoffs, Ronaldo responded with 4 goals across 2 legs. He dragged Portugal to the tournament. He silenced every doubt. That year, he wasn't just a footballer. He was inevitable, and that inevitability hasn't left. Not even at 40. So here we are in 2025. Yamal dazzles with brilliance. Dembele shines in flashes. But when Portugal needed saving, it wasn't the new names that rose. It was Ronaldo. When the Ballon d'Or conversation seemed to leave him behind, he forced his way back in. Because how can you crown a teenager when a 40-year-old king is still defending his throne? Cristiano Ronaldo has always been more than goals. More than trophies. He is defiance made flesh. The story of a boy from Madeira who had nothing, yet rose to everything. A man the media tried to bury countless times, yet who rose again and again. At 40, he's still writing chapters. Chapters that silence critics. Chapters that end debates. They tried to erase him, but Cristiano Ronaldo reminded the world of one truth. Legends don't retire. Legends live forever. And if you believe legends like this deserve to be remembered, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like this video, because more stories of greatness are on the way.